Hello and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are gonna be continuing the narration and character voice acting for the main story of Arknights, episode 14, Absolved Will Be the Seekers. Alright, part 5, and usually, in normal circumstances, this would be kinda either the second to last or the last part for a main story thing, but I guess this time around we're only gonna be breaching the halfway point. This is a very dense story with a lot of characters and a lot of shit happening. I cannot help it. But regardless of that, I'm having a lot of fun with voicing through this one specifically, and so far it's been quite a ride, and it's not letting up. It's still only going up. And oh boy, today will also be one of those times. But anyway, before we continue, as always, to anybody who bumps into the voiceover through this very episode, you can find the entire playlist for the main story of Arknights, plus all the stories that are connected to the main story directly in the description of the video, and much more on the channel. So take a peek, look where you left off, and continue from there, and hopefully you enjoy. And thank you very much. And speaking of thank yous, thank you for all the comments and the likes and so on and so forth, as you always do, guys. Really appreciate it, helping out a lot. And speaking of comments on the last episode, I love that there was at least one Fate Gremlin in there, and that makes my my minuscule Fate Gremlin heart very happy to see that someone yelled Excalibur. Yes, I need more of you. I might not be that steeped into Fate stuff, but come on. Siege is voiced literally by Arturia Pendragon, aka Saber. It's literally the same voice actress, at least in JP. They have been cooking with this character for a long time for the same purpose. Why? If anybody ever tells me typecasting is not a thing, I will present him this and other other examples of that. Typecasting is a thing, and this one is very funny. If this was actually intentional from the very beginning, that they got the same voice actors as, you know, the OG Saber, yeah, that's cool. if that was intentional, but you never know. Still, I'm happy that I saw one of you yell Excalibur. That pleases my heart. Because, quite honestly, like, I think I said it during the last part, I was really expecting her to yell Excalibur at some point. I'm happy that it didn't happen. I'm happy that it didn't happen for narrative purposes, but I would have laughed my ass off if that would have happened at any given point. But yeah, anyway, we will now continue with the quick recap of the previous part. So for those of you who want to skip it, you can do so with the timestamps provided down below, as always. So then, on the last part, we begin the story with our Dr. Amiya, Calcit, and Logos team, together with our 3 extra Sarkas characters that are with them, but they're a bit more in the background, so they are not too important right now, at least. But our 4 main guys are essentially heading towards the altar of where the blood of the Tikas is put in, essentially. But as they are approaching the altar, it seems a lot of things are not as they should be. As they approach the altar, they realize that the altar itself is a copy and not, or rather an illusion, produced by the Damatsti cluster. Then the team gets split up, and we have several scenes, one being Dr. and Amiya having a run-in with Salus and exchanging words with her. Logos runs into one of the Confessarius that turn out to be one of the clusters, that keeps switching between different people that Logos at some point in time had to kill in his past, and is taunting him essentially. And Calcit as well has a little moment where one of the clusters essentially transforms into monster and has also a little bit of a conversation with her. Now, the situations there resolve without us actually seeing what happened, as soon after that the team literally comes back together and they pretty much shoo away Salus, who retreats back to the actual altar, not before Logos actually managed to place a tracking beacon on Salus, apparently, as the doctor notes. After that, the 4 of them are having a tiny bit of a moment of respite, while Logos and the doctor are having a little bit of a conversation between each other and are essentially just discussing the past and events that the doc might not remember anymore, but Logos does, and the doc very quickly picks up that Logos is a bit of a prankster himself, as he enjoys to be the goofball. Later, we return to the battlefield where we left off in the part prior, which is the duel between Nezalem and the Duke of Wellington. The duel, however, with a very damaged ship of Wellington as well, ends up sorta in a draw as Nezalem goes into a different direction for a while with his troops, and Wellington also retreats with his own troops and his own ship, leaving the rest of the Allied Duke forces essentially open for attack to the Nachtseherers, while he essentially goes back to mend his wounds and wait for further developments. The Duke of Castor, on the other hand, on her ship, gets a very rude awakening as her ship pretty much gets blown to smithereens and bent completely in a very bizarre shape, while leaving the Stone of the Sword on top of like a small little, what is now essentially like a small little hill on top of the bent out-of-shape ship. The Exemplars who were close by have witnessed the detonation of the ship and are now on approach and are slowly reorganizing themselves with the troops that are around them. We do then also see very quickly that the Duke of Castor is still well, and with probably a couple of bruises here and there, still up and about and is trying to get a grasp on the situation. And also to get Vina to bring the sword to the Stone of the Sword. Meanwhile, outside, the Exemplars are pretty much just doing that. They are rushing towards the ship, while the Trilby Asher gets some new orders from Castor, as it seems that Castor has changed her mind and has ordered the Trilby to tell, or rather to make Vina stop from her approach, as it might be too risky at this point. However, Trilby says pretty much, screw that, I am part of these guys now for the next bit, and decides to help them out. The group reorganizes themselves and are now on full approach towards the Stone of the Sword and the Duke of Castor. While they are being pretty much put in many perilous situations, at one point as they are very close to the approach and are starting to climb the ship, at least Vina is, she gets knocked almost fully out, and the sword flies off of her back and gets picked up by the Trilby Asher in a short bit later. However, as Vina is recovering from the shock of what just happened, well, the Sarkas have to recover from their own shock of what is about to happen to them, as the Steam Knight literally steams onto the field of battle and just starts to plow through them, and that scene just of the knight there on the field reinvigorates the Victorian soldiers as they pretty much rush right after the guy onto action. The team of the Exemplars, our main team at least, now fully on approach to the Stone of the Sword, Vina on a full run to the top, gets pretty much hot potatoed the sword back to her from the Trilby Asher to Horn, and Horn shoots it essentially up to her, and as she grabs it in midair in the middle of her climb, she keeps going up and up and up, and at the last step gets a little bit of help from the Steam Knight, who holds her up into the air as she plunges the sword into its sheath. And as the two combine, a spectacular light display of golden light bursts into the sky, essentially cleansing the entire area of the Originium corruption, or rather suppressing all of the Originium reactions in the vicinity of the Stone of the Sword and the sword itself, boosting the allies and well, kinda, for a lack of a better term, debuffing their enemies in a sense. Reinvigorated, everybody takes up arms, and from now on, at least on this battlefield, the Nachtseherers will not be winning that easily anymore. Meanwhile, in the not too far distance, the Amiya team notices the flash of light happen, and they are proceeding towards the real altar. However, as Nezalem is on approach to them, Logos stays behind and sends the other portion of the team pretty much over a chasm through a bridge that he conjures up through his Banshee arts, and stays there, swaps into his Rhodes Island uniform, and pretty much is ready now for a duel, for a one-on-one duel against the Nachtzer King, aka Nezalem. And that is where we left off. So, let us proceed into today's part, shall we? So then, today we will be proceeding on from stage 11. And we will be ending on stage 12, because in today's part we will also be including a tiny little intermission, which will be in the form of a operator record, but I'll get to that when we get to that. For now, we will proceed with stage 11, titled Of Heroes. Slaves of war, captives of blood, you shall not pass. Let's go. All the eye can see is death. Endless killing. Life takes life. Fields of corpses soaked in blood. The first Nachtzer learned his purpose when he rose from the ashes of battle. I am the end of all things. Penetrate. The incantation pierces the Nachtzer like a lance. It happened so fast that it was almost impossible to see its trajectory, as though it had taken effect by the time the word left the lips. A smooth hole appears in Nezalem's chest. There is no change in his expression. Withered branches reach down from his staff, reach into the hole in his torso, and fill in the gap. How could this be? In this battle alone, the young Banshee has casted dozens of arts that were not of Sarka's origin. Ravel, the greatest arts master of Gaul. His life's work made the guns of Gaul's ships mighty, and he was famous in all the nations, before the Witch King made his own name known throughout the land. In that war, there was an instant when the ships of Gaul ripped apart the lines of death like a sharp sword before death swallowed them. Why do I see a shadow of him in your arts? No, your words can't kill me. The voice that calls me is louder than your incantations by far. I can hear it. The dirge of the fallen echoes within you. Thousands of war altars spread across the battlefield. They absorb what life leaves behind when it dies. The culmination of the power stands before Logos, the most powerful Nachtzer and the most terrible war altar. Nachtzers witness death. We take in all who were brave, friend or foe. In the endless cycle of life and death, they will be remembered and honored. Cowards deserve only
dust. Tell me, my foe, is it a young hero who stands before me, or a despicable traitor?
Your judgment does not interest me. This is not where the power of words lie. Locus once again gathers power in his palm. A second wound appears on Nezalim's body, stretching from the shoulder to his chest. The incantation does not dissipate. It fends off the branches trying to close in and prevents the energies of the dead from repairing the Nachtzetter's body. Shredded cloth rises and falls, covering the new wound and countless old scars.
What is this?
Death may feed the Nachtzetter, but the Banshee can put death itself to rest. You are no longer the sole master of war, Nezalim.
You're more gifted in incantation than any Banshee I know, the Kermalin included. Shame, though. Why do you not sing for the dead, if you truly mourn them?
Elegy cannot actually put the dead to rest. Neither the living nor the dead will find true rest as long as war continues.
Preposterous! You have vanquished the Damatzi and banished the vampire. You, a sovereign of the royal court, have royal court blood on your hands. You dare say it is all because you are avoiding war? Is your rebellion the only reason you stand in my way?
The Nachtzetter floats up in fury. The branches underneath him disintegrate, and decay fills the canyon. The Banshee's chanting does not give ground.
Born in death, fueled by war, and nourishing death. The life of the Nachtzetter is as war itself. Cities and kingdoms rise and fall, but the fate of the Nachtzetter never changes. Once, a Nachtzetter clan, tired of the cycle, put down their swords and staves and went into the depths of the wastes, far from civilization. Their powers declined rapidly in peace, and they soon became prey for others, fading away in a forgotten corner of the land. There is no other way to ensure the continued existence of the Nachtzetters. The great rock of war sits above our heads on the slopes of time. All we can do is to push it with all our strength. Such cycle has continued for thousands of years. Until...
The promise of war, Nachtzetter King.
About the future, and nothing else.
My best students, the young twin royals. I taught them the laws of war. They stood before me and told me, we can end the monotony of war and break the rigid cycle. We can push the rock to the top of the mountain and build a splendid palace with it. This war will be my blaze of glory. It must not end here. That was a long time ago. Now a young banshee stands before me. How could they be so alike? I fought alongside La Carmelin for decades, across cities and plains. We buried the armor of Victoria and the guns of Gaul beneath the walls of Casdel together. In the same battle, I helped Theresa take the heads of thousands of Lithanian casters. They were the heroes of Casdel, its greatest warriors. La Carmelin entrusted you with the future of the Banshees. Theresa considered you one of her best students. But you hid at Rhodes Island, sheltered the King of Sarkas, and sneaked into Londinium like a thief, content to sabotage their cracks in the battlefield.
War will not end the suffering of the Sarkas. All I see is you dragging everyone into the abyss.
So you chose to run. Many years ago, I said to Theresa that war was unavoidable. If it did not come to Londinium, it would have come to Casdel. Theresa agreed, but continued to hope that there could be another solution. Her choice led to a new war. Its consequence was the death of the King of Sarkas. I witnessed her death. All Sarkas should honor her. What about you? What can you bring the Sarkas aside from these meek words? What do you want to bring the Sarkas?
He points his staff at the ground. The scent of decay rushes out, overpowering the barrier of incantations. The dirge of the myriad souls grows louder. The power of the incantations is weakening. He feels his fingers, lips, and tongue go numb. The fury does not come only from the ancient royal court sovereign before him. It is also coming from his own blood. I told you. Flashback to a few moments earlier. Ducarel, I witnessed with my own eyes my death. You and the king both know you can't kill me. With your help, I've come to an interesting place. It is not all nothingness beyond history. But I continue to gaze at you beyond the veil. You have come so far, little Banshee. You and the Outblood King seek the drop of blood that I left behind. The blood of Tikas, the pure blood that I coveted. You believe that you can prevent calamity from occurring again by destroying it. It's true. True. Destroy the altar, put a temporary stop to the cunabula of suffering, allow the Victorian nitwits to cling to life a bit longer. How boring. Who is the one that's short-sighted and foolish here? You feel it, don't you? You're closely linked to the altar. Right here, right now, your power is being boosted by it.
It was never one drop of blood or a single person's call that awakened the Cunabola of suffering. Originium is the response to the call of all Sarkas, living and dead, no exceptions. The murmur of the myriad souls is omnipresent. The lament of the dead will not stop. The Sarkars are bound by the past from the moment of their birth, never to be freed, even unto death. You witnessed the myriad souls the first time you sang an elegy. La Carmelin proudly described your talent to us. This talent was the seed of descent. You feel pain, not just for others, but for yourself as well. You may detest the path I walk, but you could not help but feel sorrow for my sake. I feel sorrow for how you're trapped by the past. Such arrogance. I should try to kill you again. But instead, I will bless you. The slaughterer and the slaughtered, they are all part of the cycle. I am here because of you. Logos does not smell any blood. The incantation easily impales the Sanguinarch's body, causing only a few small ripples. Your blood is still linked to my elegy. Of course. You stand with me, no matter how much you resist. We are all sovereigns of the royal court, after all, the oldest bloodlines of the Sarkas. I should be glad that you could conquer me, for it proves that you are stronger and more worthy of carrying the fate of the Sarkas, leading them on your path. The Sanguinarch of Vampires laughs, turning around and disappearing into the cave. His silhouette fades away amongst the Originium crystals, but his voice continues to echo in Logos's ear. Bless you, Athanel, my vanquisher. Assimilate my blood, utilize my power, let your hatred of me fuel your battles. You will walk in my place and witness in my stead how far the flames of Sarka's vengeance will burn. I refuse. Nachtseher, vampire, we all hear the same cry. The fate of the Sarkas is caught in a cycle, and I am no exception. I am part of what I'm fighting. The fury of the Sarkas burns within my veins and my viscera. Words turn into fire, descending from the sky to ignite every seed on the earth. Incantations burn at Logos's fingertips, on his lips, in his chest. Originium crystals grow furiously around him, and the crying of the dead becomes even louder, ready to accept him and devour him at any time. He no longer rejects the power in his blood. The vampire has guided the flames of the Sarkas to him, and he has embraced them fire. The abyss lies before us. We can fill it with flesh and burn the remnants with blood. If the only way to bring new life is to burn away all the decay, then I will be both flame and fuel. This is where my blood belongs, that I have chosen. Flames consume the entire canyon. The only things left are the incantations that the young Banshee has written his entire life, from a very young age. They surround Logos loyally, his sword and shield. If war is the only way to achieve the dream, and new life can only emerge from death. I shall bring death. I shall welcome death. I shall ignite my past with blood, not for vengeance, but for the day when this fire will burn away what shackles the Sarkas through the decay that covers the land. A bone whistle sounds. Logos knows that it is merely the echo of the bone whistle in the Valley of the Banshees, the night he set out for Babel. From death comes new life. The death knell rings. For the royal court that would rot, past and future, and for himself.
罠に踏み込んでくる虫けらはどんなやつなんでしょうね。
The whispers stop. The rot halts.
接敵した。行け。聞いてるけど。
親しんだ戦場
だ。あまり待たせ誰かに気づく前にあなたの死体を影に沈めてあげる。
負傷した者はすぐに知らせるんだ。
白明に輝く星、死の黎明よ。
私の剣が石章の影をまとう。
あまり待たせないで。
任務は必ず果たします。医療機器試血監視。 私をここに派遣するのがあんたが頭をひねって考えた完璧なこの形。私が聞いた合格をあなたにも教えてあげる。言ってみる。修正キット使え。
い
You push yourself to the limit, burning all the blood in your body to blow your bone vessel. Just to stop me for a moment. A fennel? How long can you last when the war continues still? You've gained the Nachtsetter's respect, and so I shall now grant you death.
Mission accomplished.
A death knell. Lucas's bone whistle.
A bone whistle. For whom? Amiya,
I'm fine, Doctor. I'm just reminded of a lot of things. Lucas rarely conducted himself as Lord of the Banshees when we were at Rhode Island. He said he was no different from Scout or Misery, just another Sarkaz operator who believed in the ideals of Rhode Island. The day we set out, when Logos put on his royal court garment, I sensed great determination in his eyes, and great sorrow.
the bone whistle has cracked. The bone pen has broken. Blood flows from the corners of his lips.
You can no longer use witchcraft. You push yourself to the limit, burning all the blood in your body to blow your bone whistle. Just to stop me for a moment. A fennel. You are a fine warrior.
The Nocturne King spreads his arms wide. The tethered banners draped over him rise up, as though echoing the countless wars the Sarkaz have fought. Rotten flesh and blood fall from his wounds, new and old, nourishing the battlefield. New branches sprout from the soil, repairing the warriors that have been damaged by incantations. The fallen Sudaram rise again.
But you are not fighting one or a few. There have been no shortage of revolutionaries among the Sarkaz or the royal court. They have all failed, just as Theresa did. War is the great boulder destined to fall on top of the Sarkaz in the abyss, again and again. And you've gained the Nachtser's respect, and so I shall now grant you death.
The Nocturne walks atop the mists of decay towards the young Banshee. Sever. The Banshee utters the final incantation, so soft it is almost inaudible. The cutting words become a tangible blade, which he grabs with his hand. and cuts off the Nachtzer King's right arm.
Theresa's swordcraft!
The full blast of the Nachtzer King's power hits Logos in the chest. He falls from the cliff. The ground made of originium begins to collapse. Logos pictures how the familiar ship threads mountains and rivers, its tracks giving off the same rumbling. He remembers the first time he came to Rhodes Island and stood shoulder to shoulder on the deck with Theresa. She looked out over Casdal while he listened to the wailing in the wind. He remembers Mechanist hunched over, fiddling with parts, chiding closure for wasting materials, Outcast and Blaze betting on how long it would last, and a robotic arm reaching over to grab his hat. He remembers Ace's bloodied palm by his shield and cup. Scout's palm was a little cooler, about the temperature of his crossbow, and he could tell them apart by shaking their hands and high-fiving. He remembers the doctor and Amiya saying goodnight in the corridors, when Amiya suddenly stopped him to ask if he was ready to go to Londinium. He remembers Dr. Kaltsit taking Amiya's hand and bringing her between them.
Theresa is gone. Amiya is the new leader of Rhodes Island.
Logos keeps falling. Falling until he is completely submerged in cold water. He remembers himself many years ago.
You have made your decision.
Yes. I will stay at Rhodes Island and journey the land with the ship.
Theresa is gone. The dream of Babel
lives. Her Highness has named her heir. She is young, but carries a familiar fire in her eyes that belongs only to dreamers. And it's not just for her that I choose to stay. The journey of Her Highness's search hasn't ended, and it should not end like this. I will continue the journey as long as the answer to the future of the Sarkas lies elsewhere. I may not come back to the valley for a long time.
Do you feel sorry because you cannot stay with us?
I will not act as a sovereign of the royal court outside the valley. Many will see my will as the will of the royal court. They may see the banshees as their enemies. I'm afraid I won't be able to help you fend off any storms coming from outside the valley.
If any old friends want to pay a visit, I'll be sure to give them a warm welcome.
I will not question the former master of the Valley of the Banshees.
My sister and I worry for you in the same way. Take our thoughts with you.
The song of the Banshee surrounds their young lord. The water becomes warm, like a pair of warm hands that pull the fallen back. Logos opens his eyes. He seems to see his mother and everyone else he holds dear.
Athanel, the most beautiful wave of the valley, its loveliest song. We must stay and watch you go away. But our blessing will be with you, wherever you go. Hang in there, Athanel. We're with you. We've always been with you.
The power of incantation fills Logos to the very ends of his limbs. He opens his lips again. A song filled with power echoes on the river, reflecting the most beautiful wave. All the pursuers are compelled to stop.
I never thought I would hear the chorus of the banshees here in this distant land. Ever is death accompanied by new life. Are you still trying to sway me with song, young one? Here at the end of all things? My patriarch, this is no more than a banshee's incantation. They have not truly joined the battle. Our foe remains only the young banshee. Yes.
Your injuries are grave.
The course of a funnel dictates the decay return to decay. I will not be able to regenerate for some time, but this body will last long enough to see this battle through. For now, let me hear his song, and that of the banshees.
Desalem walks to the edge of the cliff without the help of any arts. For an instant, he looks like an ordinary old man.
Do you remember Buldrokasti?
Yes. You raised him as you would raise your own son.
Such a talented boy. He would have become the hero of Khasdel. He was my best student. But he left Khasdel and died to a conspiracy in a distant land. But he died a warrior. He lived the meaning of life through war, and returned to the myriad souls upon his death. After that, where is the next hero of Khasdel?
Desalem looks down the cliff. Wind passes through the holes in his body that have not healed, creating sounds without meaning.
The dirge of the myriad souls has grown softer. Locus's bone vessel has temporarily suppressed the link between the blood of Tikas and Londinium. This is our chance. Dr. Kalsid, this time, I won't let it slip from my hands. They've caught up. Are you here too, dear Quisar Shinag? You and our leader, our dear father, who will be the one to approach the throne?
Saus reaches for the drop of blood at the top of the altar. Originium burns and the myriad souls roar. The powerful witchcraft quickly turns their fingers into charred black crystals.
I want to see it so badly. The origin is so near.
You!
You've hid well. It took a long time to find you. Too long.
Traitor! How many have you killed on your way here?
Not more than I killed when I escaped.
The underground labs are full of the dead back then. Our dead. You ruined our leader's plans at the Royal Academy of Sciences. The Victorians almost found out about it because of you.
I wish he had never succeeded.
That's not what you used to say. How dare you act high and mighty when you were the one who gave us our orders? That cave outside Londinium, all their research bases, was there any part of it that you weren't in charge of? The leader was in Kasdel most of the time. You were the one who directed the research. You looked exactly like the leader with your mask on.
I had no choice back then.
No choice? What about the things you said when you took us to Londinium and had us don this mask? We were mere mercenaries, but we believed in the Confessori's teachings, believed in the first and final path that you preached. Our original sin, the sin that outsiders imposed upon us, will be washed away at its coming. Was that all a lie?
I wish that was a lie.
It wasn't a lie, it was real. All the leader's promises to us were sincere. The same for you, Quisar Shinnok, even if you have strayed from the path. The leader and the regent are so close to victory. The freedom and power that have been lost for thousands of years are about to return to the hands of the Sarkas. Kill me if you want. Go and see the leader, your father. He's waiting for you at the end of the path. They're all waiting for you. You will witness it for us, for every life that your sword took.
Shining removes the guard's mask. She remembers the face. He was one of the first mercenaries that the Confessori brought to Londinium. They knew nothing at first. They were only tasked to excavate the ruins outside the city. The young man had expressed his gratitude to her directly, thanked the Confessori for giving them a safe, well-paid job. It was not long before she stopped hearing those words. The leader of the Confessori came to Londinium. There were no more idle mercenaries drinking and playing games. Everyone put on the same mask and did not speak, except when necessary. They had no special bloodline. Quisar Tushtai should not have been able to control their will so easily. But the part of them that belonged to themselves died before the great dreams of the Confessori. It was she who killed them first.
This sin has gone on long enough.
The mask cracks. The pieces stab at Shining's palm. She continues her journey to the top.
Why is Logos such a Chad? Oh, what the hell? What the hell? And then he almost dies on top? Ooh, that was not kosher, but okay. I see why the drone is there now. I see why we got a drone with this patch. I've been avoiding, I will say it a bit in the clip that I will provide if I don't forget to extract that specific section out of the clip. But yeah, I've heard a bit of the voice lines from the thing. I think I heard like two of them maybe, at most, from the drone. But yeah, I completely didn't hear it. I listened to it after I was done recording the cutscenes for this part, just to have a peek at what the drone says. I do kind of find it funny that the drone is supposedly like synthesizing the voice of the mom, essentially, just to give him a homey feeling. That mother is pampering the shit out of her son. I love it. Also, I did hear the actual pronunciation. The drone actually says the name of Logos's mom fully a couple of times. The actual pronunciation is literally what I thought originally to go with, but it was so breaking my throat because of the different voices that I do for characters. For those of you who've never tried this, try to say a name that sounds complicated in your normal voice, and then just for the shits and giggles, try to say the same name
in different voices, in different character voices. You will very quickly discover how a normal word that you, or name, that you're used to saying just with your normal voice suddenly becomes like the most complicated thing to pronounce when you're trying to do a character impression or something like that. So my compromise with her name was La Kermalin, because it's easy to say across any kind of spectrum of voices that I'm doing, even when I have to shout it. But at the same time, I did hear from the drone, the actual pronunciation is what I originally thought, which was Croatian logic to approach a name pronunciation, which is, in her case, Lakaramalan, which is literally every single letter pronounced as it's written there. And it sounds absolutely tongue-breaking, and it is. Took me a couple of tries again to get used to it. That was literally what I was trying the first time to pronounce, but oh my god, it was breaking my mind and my tongue during the bubble recordings and everything. So my compromise was like Kermalin because it was easier. I think I even said it in the bubble recordings. It's just easier to say that way. But yeah, they approached it literally literal. It's every single letter there, which kinda, I will not lie, surprises me. I will really not lie, kinda surprises me. Usually names like this get abbreviated or some letter gets, you know, buried under the other or some shit like that. So I'm kind of like surprised that they went through with a completely full pronunciation. So yeah, Lakaramalan. Anyway, but anyway, for the purposes of me not losing my shit when I'm doing a character voice, I will keep saying it Lakermalin. So apologies in advance. If somebody in the future asks me why I'm saying it that way, I will repeat it to you, but for now I will stick with this because it's just easier for me. I do know how it's actually pronounced now. But yeah, anyway, long ramble short, this was a epic battle. However, funnily enough, because we don't actually fight the big guy, he is not present in the list of enemies here. But Logos did chop the big guy's hand off, and now we are gonna see what Shining is doing for a tiny bit of the story. But before we do that, we have a operator record to jump in, which we will do now, which is Shining's operator record, but more on that, well, you can hear more on that in a second, so enjoy the operator record. And here we are at Shining's operator record. So, this one is taking place a bit into the past, as you will see in quite a moment, and yeah, it's a journey alright. But I figured after reading the parts that are included in today's episode when it comes to the main story, and then after that reading this one on top, I figured this fits in very nice, neatly and snugly in between the two cutscenes, or rather two stages that we are going through today, and hopefully it will add a bit of extra oomph to the story as it did for me as well, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. But if you want to skip it, you can obviously do so with the timestamps provided down below. But anyway, let us begin. On a rainy night, the downpour's lifting, and it'll be day soon. Who's there?
Excuse me, we're just passing mercenaries. The rain's getting heavy, so we'd like to shelter here for a while. Would it be alright?
You can head on over to the village inn.
We'll only be here until the rain clears up. We can't stay long anyway.
Anyone else with you?
Just my friend. She can't walk very well.
Sarkaz?
We mean you no harm.
Your kind isn't welcome here, devil. Get lost. A long sword is pointed at her neck. I'm not gonna repeat myself.
Then, please, at least allow my friend to rest here.
What's her problem?
The same as you, good sir.
Infected? You said you're a merc, yeah?
Correct.
Stay right here by the door. And don't go wandering off.
Thank you. Dad, do we have guests?
Nothing you need to worry about. Head back inside.
Okay. You're awake, Liz? We were fortunate enough to find a place to rest. It won't be much longer until we're out of Victoria. Thank goodness. You must make sure to get some rest too, alright? Thank you. I'll do just that. Ma'am, do you need a towel? Thank you very much.
From afar, the owner of the home watches his daughter approach the Sarkas, and he reaches subconsciously for the hilt of his sword. But what he'd feared did not come to pass. Shining accepts the towel and helps Nightingale dry her hair. After painstakingly tending to her companion, she then wipes down her own long, dripping hair.
Did you need anything else? No, I was just thinking of something to say.
Chirp, chirp. A small blue creature pops out from Nightingale's pocket and lands on her shoulder.
Whoa, a foul beast! Can I pet it?
Nightingale raises her hand, and the foul beast hops from her shoulder to her fingertips.
I've never seen such an obedient foul beast before. Hello there. Where are you from?
The foul beast chirps, as if replying to the girl's question.
Little foul beast, do you want to play a game? My dad made me a lot of toys, but the other kids in the village don't like playing with me. Game? What kind of game? Do you want to play too, ma'am? Give me a second.
The girl hurries back into her room to search for something. After rummaging around for a while, she comes back with a small cardboard box.
I have a lot of really fun stuff. My dad carved them all out of wood. My favorite is this one. Huh.
The girl digs through the box, pulling out a wooden block or two every now and then.
Everything's fallen apart. Is there anything I can help you with? Oh, yes, thanks. Can you help me take all the blocks out? Then stack them all up in groups of 3s. First horizontally, then vertically, and repeat.
Alright. Shining helps the child dig through the box and pick out all the wooden blocks.
Your horns are so beautiful. Are you an Alafia? No, I'm a Sarkas. Oh, that makes sense. You don't have those fluffy ear tufts. I heard you're gonna leave Victoria after this when I was in my room. Is Victoria, bad? No, it's just... this country isn't for us.
Shining picks up some of the wooden blocks she had dug out from the box and begins stacking them on top of one another. After only a few layers, the colors before her eyes already seem to be coalescing into a kaleidoscopic blur. It has been a long time since she's experienced an environment so replete with warmth. As she relaxes, drowsiness starts to wash over her. Her thoughts spin through the air and along with motes of light. Flashback. Shining can already see the light coming from the exit, and behind her, piled high in the shadows, are the bodies of Confessario's guards. She simply pats the person strapped to her back and does not turn around. Nightingale is still not fully awake, and subconsciously clings tight to Shining.
Hang in there a bit longer, Liz.
There they are!
We need to leave this place. Though to where, I couldn't say either. There may be no place for us in these lands. But at the very least, I refuse to leave you behind here.
The daylight flashes by from within the cave, leaving its vestiges on the supporting pillars and rocks. Before Shining emerges, a blue fowl beast has already darted out, flying impatiently towards the sunlight.
That sound just now. Did it come from over there? That's where they fled to. I'll give chase. You report to the leader. What's going on? The cave entrance is about to collapse. Retreat! Now! But we won't make it in time!
Ow. A yelp suddenly snaps Shining back to reality. The girl had accidentally knocked over the neatly completed tower of wooden blocks, sending the pieces scattered everywhere.
You're not going to rest a little more? I'll manage. Now I have to start all over again. There is nothing wrong with starting over. Can I help too this time? Yeah, of course. The more the merrier.
As the three of them start rebuilding the tower, Shining glances over at the owner of the house. He is seated by the window, long sword still in hand. Meanwhile, his child is sitting with the two women, pushing some of the fallen blocks in front of Nightingale before continuing to stack them up.
One more to go, and done! We can start playing the game now. The rules are really easy. First you roll the dice, then you pull out the same number of blocks from the tower and stack them on top. Whoever knocks it over loses. Let's roll the dice to see who goes first.
The die bounces several times under their gaze before coming to a decision.
I'm going first then? Yep.
Nightingale picks up the die and lets it roll off her palm. She can't muster much strength, but it's okay since this is the first block.
You're up next, nice lady in black.
Shining takes the die next and casts it. She takes note of the number and turns to the wooden tower. While removing a block isn't inherently difficult, the tower will naturally start falling apart as the game progresses. Past choices and occurrences accumulate, stacking up layer by layer and applying over more pressure on the future. A sensation she finds disagreeable. But rules are rules, and she must abide by them. And so another block is stacked on top.
How are you feeling, Liz? No issues here. We're already quite far from the lab. It's not likely that they'll catch up to us at this point. We still have a long way to go. Let's get some rest and have a bite to eat. I'm not hungry yet.
Shining opens her bag and finds she has only one piece of fruit left.
We only have a bit of dry food left. Can you eat the fruit first? There should be a village just across the bridge where I can buy us some food. Here, go ahead and eat. I've peeled it for you. Thank you.
As soon as they step into the village, they are surrounded by a constant chorus of surprised murmurs, as if they were beasts that had broken loose. But Shining doesn't care about that. The Victorians won't see them again after they're done buying food.
Hello, can I help you? The devils!
Good day. I'd like to purchase some bread.
Away with you. I don't do business with devils.
Just name your price. I'll pay.
Huh. If I accept your money, who's to lead my bread? No scram. There are customers behind you.
My apologies.
Shining's hands presses into the hilt of her sword. The morning light flashes by.
Murder!
Wait.
Shining had long since noticed the Confessarius guards tailing her, so she had deliberately been avoiding crowded places to keep a low profile. But as the bread stall owner runs towards the crowd, yelling and shrieking, more and more people start to gather.
That devil's a murderer! Someone get the police!
It's the village chief, Solacaster! Hurry and get him over here! She only wanted to buy some food to fill her stomach, but she has no choice but to hastily flee the village in the end. Her companion can only clutch fearfully at her robe, trembling uncontrollably. And even further behind them, screams and curses continue for a long while.
Shining?
When she focuses on the present again, the three of them had already been playing together for quite some time. Several of the wooden tower levels are supported by only a single block, yet the rickety tower somehow still maintains an uneasy equilibrium. It won't be long until a winner is decided.
Is there anything I can help you with? I think I can do this.
The block she grabs is wedged so tightly that all blocks above it wobble every time Nightingale tries to move it. Nightingale and the child continue staring intently at the block, neither noticing that Shining and the owner of the house have stood up at the same time.
I think I left my wallet outside.
You...
Would you mind keeping an eye on my friend? I'll be right back. What's wrong? It's nothing. Let's continue.
She tries again and again, hoping that the tower's center of gravity might change. But the pressure exerts on the single block of wood does not let up. What would Shining do? She ponders. She remembers that Shining would draw out the block faster than the eye can see, without giving the tower even a chance to wobble. She prepares to give it a try.
You can do it!
Nightingale takes a deep breath, grabs the wooden block, and forcefully pulls. The morning light outside the window disappears in an instant as the tower collapses.
Yay! I win!
For whatever reason, the young girl takes Nightingale's hand and starts dancing around, as if they had both won the game. Her pure, genuine emotions send a ripple through Nightingale's stony heart.
You're back. I saw everything. One flick of your sword and... Are you two on the run too?
Shining looks out the window. The rain gradually subsides, and the deepening darkness serves well to conceal the corpses. 8 Confessarius guards and 6 assassins of unknown origin, 2 different groups, had arrived at the same doorstep.
So the other group of 6
came to kill my child.
Is that why you were willing to shelter us from the rain?
It's because you're Sarkas. It was a race against time, and the guard I hired hasn't gotten here yet.
You two are Sarkas, and I know for a fact that that hoity-toity noble would never deign to hire one. You seem capable, so I decided to hedge my bets. But I never thought you'd,
It's fine. I understand.
In any case, you've done me a huge favor. If you're in no hurry to leave, feel free to stay the night.
Thank you, sir. We truly appreciate your kind offer, but unfortunately, time is not on our side either.
One sec. It'll be tough for you to buy food along the way, right? Here, I have some bread and jerky.
This is... Thank you very much, sir.
I should be thanking you, Sarkas. I haven't seen my daughter having this much fun with others in a long time. She's been like this since she was little, never suspicious towards anyone. But we've always been on the run, constantly moving, avoiding others. She hasn't had much of a chance to have normal interactions. But those days will soon be over. Once that merc shows up and takes her to live with her relatives, she'll finally be able to settle down.
You're not going with her?
That damn noble killed my wife and got me sick. Once my daughter's out of harm's way, I'm getting payback. One way or another. I won't run.
The rain stopped. Once again, thank you for letting us stay. We must be on our way now. Liz, it's time to go. It's already so late though. Are you sure you don't want to stay the night? I'm sorry. We'll come and play with you again if we get the chance, okay? Okay. Oh, wait! Here, this is for you.
The girl stuffs 2 rocks into Shining's hands.
What are these? They're 2 lucky rocks I found by the river. Lucky rocks? Yeah, just tap them together and you'll be sure to have good luck. The last time I did it, Dad brought me home a huge foul beast and we had a big feast. Maybe the next time you tap them, we'll be able to meet again. I hope that day comes as well.
Farewell, Sarkas. Until we meet again.
Until we meet again.
You're finally here?
Hello, Mr. Edmund.
Thanks for coming all the way out here, Miss Nerl. Please, come in.
Liz. What's wrong? This lucky rock is for you. Huh. Were you happy? Not sure I understand what that means. But I did feel very warm. Being cared for, being appreciated. Seeing someone offer a helping hand and being able to hold it instead of having a sword pointed at you. If we could always have opportunities like these, I'm sure I'd be happy. Can we try stopping by the village again, some other time? Liz, not everyone will treat us with kindness. We're Sarkas and infected with telepathy. Most in this land will not welcome us. Had that homeowner not also been infected, we might not have had the opportunity to rest beneath those eaves. But there's always a chance, right? Sometimes we can relieve the suffering of others, so I believe that sometimes others can do the same for us. Even if the likelihood is extremely slim. I believe in you, Shining. Someone out there will recognize your sincerity your earnestness. If you say so. Whenever we pass by a village, I'll ask the villagers. Whenever I see a caravan, I'll ask the merchants. People who look down on us and ignore us, we must be prepared for that. But if luck is on our side, we may yet find selfless people willing to help us, and maybe, in the not too distant future, we may even find a place where we can finally rest our feet. But luck is already on our side.
Nightingale takes out the lucky rock Shining had given her.
That's right.
Shining also takes out hers. The two rocks bump together, making a crisp, clean sound. Beneath the moonlight, the two Sarkas leave Victoria, blessed by luck. You could say that those rocks brought them quite a lot of luck. Quite a lot. They met Nerl, and through Nerl they also met Rhode Island. And the rest is history, as they say. But yeah, that is the operator record, so now we will go back to the main story and continue with that. Alrighty, and now back to our main story. Continuing on with stage 12, titled Followers. We will always be together. Let's begin.
Quisarshinac! Quisarshinac! Mama's here. It's alright. I just need to talk to your father for a bit. Didn't you want to look around outside? Just like the blue fowl beast in your favorite story. The fowl beast that can fly high up into the soft, lofty clouds. You can do it. You should live a free life. I'm sorry, my dear child. Mama will get you away from all of this.
Quisarshinac. Enough hiding. I know you're there. You followed her in secret when she came to find me. You witnessed everything. That's good. You need not be afraid of the blood. You'll see much more in the future. Will I die? Of course, my dear. Look, this sword has pierced through my heart. It won't take long before the blood in this body dries up. Your mother wants to leave me because of some pointless delusions, and have you leave me as well. But how is that possible? We have long been bound together by the myriad souls. We cannot be separated. Go, child. Touch your mother. Can you feel it? Her pulse. This is the power of life, our cycle of life. Through rebirths like this, again and again, will our lives be perfected. I will always be with you. We shall never part.
My dear Quisarshinac, you don't seem happy at all. Didn't the experiment go smoothly? The receptacle has been responding perfectly from the last few tests. When the ceremony is complete, what will happen to her? Her? You mean the receptacle? When it was born, its soul was no longer with us. After all, the leader has been researching for so long just to craft a cage from a pure consciousness to trick the King of Sarkas. When that happens, the King's power will be transferred to you, and the receptacle will be useless. You can decorate it like a doll if you like, and bring her wherever you go. I do like to collect souvenirs too. It is none of your concern. Huh, you're always so impolite with me. Want it out of your sight? Just dispose of it, or you could give it to me. Leave. Do not step into my laboratory without my permission ever again. Why are you so offended? The leader and you have such different temperaments. Well, it's fine. You'll soon become as gentle as he is. Who knows, I might even miss your current personality. Goodbye, Quisarshinac.
She looks through her mask at the girl on the stone bed, who returns her gaze. There is still work to do, and her father will not allow any delays. This altar, this laboratory, and the bloodline she was born into together form a cage around her. In the face of the Confessary's calling for the past several millennia, her sorrow and suffering are insignificant. She does not control her own limbs. They are extensions of her father's will. She cannot stop or leave this altar fiddling with life and death, nor can she drop the soul-engraving white sword in her hand. Suddenly, a drop of water falls onto her busy hand. Who is the one shedding tears here? Her, or the figure on the bed, who should be completely unconscious?
Quisarshinac.
Distracted, she lifts her head and sees a blue foul beast fly out of the cave and into the dusk outside. Cracks appear on the cage. A consciousness that should not exist, yearning for freedom it could not possibly have. From this, hope is born. A confessarius and a pure white receptacle. Quisarshinac and Liz. Shining and Nightingale. I'm hearing a din of discontent. Do not worry, leader. Only a few enemies have broken into this place. They want to destroy the altar and stop the ceremony.
Annoying pests. Send someone to clean them up. Surely I need not sully my hands with such trifles.
Of course not. We shall eradicate all obstacles in your stead. The Confessarius leader looks at the girl dressed in white. She's so deep in sleep on the stone bed that she almost looks like she's not breathing. The receptacles Originium arts are stable. The ceremony will soon be complete. We're only a step away before Amnanan will open a path for you to the myriad souls. You will surpass the King of Sarkas, supersede the myriad souls, and become the father of all Sarkas.
With our journey spanning thousands of years, this is how things should be. Before that, I will have to reunite with my kin to witness it together. Right on time, sister. I have been waiting for you. More Confessarius guards incoming. Marilla, let's part ways here. I can't guarantee I'll be able to keep you and your companions safe in our next fight. The roads should be safer once you leave this place. If you're willing to do so, you can continue heading east all the way out of Victoria.
Your Highness, I'll never forget your kindness, no matter where I end up.
But what are you guys planning to do?
This blade of mine is still usable if you need it.
Don't worry, we have our own mission, and we're set on it. Please, take care of yourselves, and then, I hope you can live the life you want to live. Your Highness.
Marilla takes a step forward and kneels on one knee before Amiya. The other two follow suit, all three faces bearing a rare, solemn look.
You've gained the undying loyalty of a... No, 3 Sarkas. Please, you don't have to do this,
The mercenaries hesitate for a bit before turning to leave, fading from your view. Good luck to them. I hope Logos is doing well.
We have little time left, and the Confessarius altar is close. Logos helped us dispel the Confessarius illusions, and I can feel an unsettling energy disturbance here.
So are we going in loud? Or are there any secret passages to the altar or something similar?
Time isn't going to let us slowly figure out a surefire solution. We can't overlook the risks, but it's also important to take rational risks in our war strategies. Fortunately, the Sarkas have done as much, and sent all their troops to the front lines, so we need only deal with the Confessarius men.
Theresa must trust Zarathustra a lot. Why are the Confessari in charge of the Amnanam Advent ceremony?
The Confessari play many roles in Khasdal. They are the king's advisors, bodyguards, shamans, and scholars. They travel between the royal courts and have always been dedicated to exploring Sarka's history and researching the power of their blood. Theresa's already planned to use the shard to control Amnanam before invading Londinium, and the Confessari definitely helped him out. Zarathustra's plan to usurp the king is also closely tied to Amnanam.
What does Amnanam have to do with the king?
Zarathustra wants more than just a crown. He too once possessed the king's power thousands of years ago. He did not manage to get the full picture, but he definitely sensed the king's power to influence others. Control. The more you experience absolute power, the harder it is to resist temptation. Be it Theresa or Amiya, Zarathustra has been watching every single king and their successors in secret for a long, long time. His obsession with power compels him to extend his life by maniacal means without hesitation, just to seize control of that power once more. There is only one thing that can let him achieve his goal.
Originium.
Yes. Through Originium, Zarathustra will be able to control the Sarkas more than the king ever could.
Shining and Nightingale are also victims of this.
They never stopped resisting their fate, especially at such a critical moment as now.
We have to stop the Amnanam and its uncontrollable effects, and we have to stop the Confessari from harming Rhodes Island operators. It's time to move.
Monster, hold off our enemies. Amiya, destroy the altar. Dr. Kaltzit, I'm sensing something's up. I can't quite control the king's power. That altar's influencing. I've told you before, we've been researching the crown for thousands of years. But you? How long has it been since you learned how to use it? I welcome you all to bear witness to this grand ceremony.
Zarathustra. Everyone here is waiting for you. The Confessarius leader smiles as usual, spreading his arms wide open as if welcoming his own child back after a long time away from home. Dozens of Confessari stand on both sides of the mountain path in silence. Their eyes behind their masks hold fervent deference, completely ignoring the blood-drenched Shining as she walks up the steps with her sword in hand.
I'm here to kill you.
I know. How could I not know that? Many years ago, Mother showed up before Father, before me, just like you have now.
She always knew her own duty and never thought to disobey me. But as you slowly grew, she developed a hatred to our family, the love I gave her, and the Confessarius' calling. I don't blame her at all, nor do I blame you. You are the same, merely made a tiny, forgivable mistake. I will always accept you returning to my side. You are a monster. Who are you to speak of love? Love and hate, life and death, they are fundamentally parts of the same whole. Generations of Confessari have passed their souls down through the same rites. This is my way of loving my family. Souls in death are purified in rebirth. Through death after death, we close in on the original, the purest and perfect being. There is not a shred of that worthy to be perfect. Quisartushtai, your true self died thousands of years ago. The Whitehorn King of Sarkas who defeated countless enemies, the legendary hero who built an everlasting castle under the day and night, is long dead. What stands before me now is but a despicable man who lives in the shadows, a coward who sacrifices the lives of innumerable innocents to prolong his own. Who is it that tarnishes the soul of that original hero? It's you, King of Usurping Kings. You got so twisted seeking longevity, you are no longer worthy of that crown. Perhaps. Quisar sister. I, who was born with all my memories intact, know better than you the history Quisartushtai bears with his life. The Confessarius leader takes a step down. He calmly looks at Shining and holds her hand, trembling in rage. I know all too well the blood that is on my hands, as I remember all the love I have received. It was you who picked me up from the blood in your trembling arms when Mother died. We are a true family, sharing the closest of blood and sharing the closest of relationships. The nature of my soul may change, but the facts remain the same. How could you talk about that like so? Who was it that killed my brother? Who was it that turned him from a child who should have received his mother's love into a non-existence from the very beginning? It was me. For millennia, Quisartushtai has died many and time again from betrayal, from his closest kin. You may see this as a punishment if you wish it so. However, what does that matter? You call me unworthy of that crown, but who else but me could possibly lead the Sarkas on a path to our survival? Quilon brought our people on a wandering path of no return, and Elish's retreat into hiding would only make us weak. Even that pair of siblings, all they did was push Sarkas into futile conflict and let the crown slip into outblood hands. The Sarkas need a true king, an eternal king. I will reach our starting point, and together with our sins of Quisartushtai and his blood, purge all of the Sarkas' sins. Sin. The word intensifies the ire in Shining. Her father and brother were both possessed by this undying monster, while she and her mother lived under the madness of his shadow. To let him live, to kill him, both are afflicted with a curse. She has no path to go. She has nowhere to retreat. But there is no way she can stay here as is. You made your move. Very good, Quisar. I'll kill you. And then kill yourself? Is this what you call severing the bloodline's curse? The same stupidity I see. Quisartushtai grips Shining sword with hand.
Blood trickles down the pure white blade and stains her hand. A shudder arises from the depths of her soul. An overwhelming force flings Shining onto a crystal tree. The sharp black branches pierce through her abdomen. Fresh blood gushes down and converges with Quisar-Tushtai's blood. The ancient tree, long crystallized into originium, bursts a sudden pure white glow. In just a moment, countless little moons rise to the top of the tree. Every confessarius begins to sing. The myriad souls lie prostrate. Howling knocks on the door from beneath. Tangible usurps the intangible. The black crown imprisoned. The offender perpetually innocent. Because kings are born before immortality. Look, even injuries as grievous as this will not infect you. This is the power of the blood you resist. Quisar Shinnok, I have been patient enough with you. But you stay stubborn, unwilling to accept all that belongs to you. Your duty, power, glory. It's alright, just be good and stay aside, while I complete the ceremony myself. A crown woven of thorns appears in his hand. Moonlight shines onto the crown as it illuminates the crystal tree at the end of the steps. In that spot lies a stone bed, lined with dead branches, and a curled-up figure Shining knows too well atop it.
Liz! Wake up!
Don't bother. Her consciousness is not where you think it to be.
She's inside the crown.
Correct. I promised you that I would mend her soul. You need only wear the complete crown and you can be together forever.
Together forever? In your cage?
Shining shuts her eyes. She strains to imagine the time she spent together with Liz. They run in the woods, hand in hand. They cross the ice-cold creek together. With Liz worn out on her back, she walks the road home. Liz makes a small flower wreath and places it on Shining's head. A small blue fowl beast follows them the whole time, chirping a cheery tune over their heads. It hovers, searches, and lands next to the sleeping white demon. It does not know why Liz is sleeping, and anxiously pecks at her cheek with its little beak, until a black arrow pierces it. The foul beast vanishes, leaving only a blue feather that lands on Shining's shoulder. Enough. You know very well those are not her dreams.
Even if those memories were fabricated.
They are fabricated, so why not accept your own power and reshape her memory once more?
Liz is Liz. She should be free. I will never shape her soul as I please ever again.
A wishful thinking. Quisar Shinnok, my fragile child indulging in fantasy. You are that blue fowl beast, thirsting for freedom, yet imprisoning yourself. I prepared everything for you. A perfect body, an ancient power. All you needed is to accept. But you betrayed me. You abandoned everything that belongs to you. And then, what did you gain? You sorely disappoint me.
A new life. I was reborn into a new life after leaving you. Not as the Confessarius Quisar Shinnok, nor a puppet of my bloodline, but as Shining. As a member of the followers.
Blue feathers prick her wounds. The slightest of stings momentarily rouses her from the bloodline-induced paralysis.
Come. Now is the time. Find me. Find this tree. If it were you, you would certainly make it.
An opening pierces through the crimson clouds. The sunlight pours down. Everything around her becomes increasingly brighter. That's... It doesn't matter what it is, just hold it back! The ceremony has already begun. We can't let... we can't stop it! Light. Light and fog fills the air. The sun descends from the sky to repel the clammy moonlight. Sorry, the storm was too intense. It took some time to locate you. Are you alright? Do you need a hand, Shining? I'm fine. But we have to save Liz. And stop Quisar-Tushtai. Lend me your strength. And dispel the darkness before my eyes. Of course. Let's go together. The road ahead of us. I'll illuminate our path.
Here you are. No. You don't return to the landship often. Stay with Liz a bit. She's missed you. She just fell asleep. While you seem more exhausted than when I last saw you. Are you worried about Liz? I asked Dr. Kaltzit, and she said Liz's condition is still under control. Is there something you haven't told me? I'm thinking of a way to cure Liz for good. You've poured years into this. It just won't come quickly, so don't torture yourself over it. What if I told you a solution has always existed, only I've dared not to try? Shining, what exactly are you hiding from me? What is it you can't say? No, This is a duty I must see through on my own. Do you think Liz and I will leave you? You know that won't happen. My concern has always been that you two might get hurt. I've decided to join Liz in searching for her memories. I shall accompany her until we find the truth. However, Nerl, a time will come when I need you to protect Liz in my stead. I know. But I will protect and fight for more than just Liz. Shining, I will stand for you as well. Yes. We have always stood by each other. The followers are as one. My oath remains unchanged. Margaret Nerl and her sword staff will be there for you whenever needed.
The sword staff sweeps wide. A dazzling radiance repels a crowd of foes.
Every single Gonfessarius here is a powerful foe. So that's why you weren't willing to spar with me, Shining. We saved quite a lot of money for Rhodes Island. Our greatest foe lies ahead.
Alright. Let's settle this quickly. What a farce. Careful! Huh. I can take it. Shining, my shield will protect you. You need only advance.
A torrent of witchcraft washes toward them. Margaret's radiance is suppressed. Quisar Tushtai stands on the top of the steps, day and night surging within his palm. So this is the help you found? Quisar Shinag, what do you think our ceremonial altar is? A meadow? Or a Kuranta to frolic in? Huh. So her arts can momentarily block my influence on you. And what of it? Your swordplay and arts all come from me. You can't even harm me, unless I let you.
Everything slowed down? His arts affect the perception of time? Or is it something else? Shining! I'm alright. Your shield. The first crack on this new shield of mine. But no matter, I can mend it with my arts. A knight's shield will never weaken when protecting someone in need.
What a detestable light. Puny fowl, I've killed so many Pegasi like you, I've stopped counting. I smeared their golden blood on the walls of my Casdel, so that my city would look as if forever bathed in the radiance of dawn. And their descendants would understand Casdel is not a domain they can invade as they please.
We're not in Casdel. And you're not some homeland hero either. Heroes shed their own blood to clear the way for others. But you, all I see is your path to ascension drenched with the blood, tears and bones of others.
Heroes? I decided long ago to give up being one. The hero people sing and praise, but is as fleeting as sand. No matter how I try to master the time I have, it does not stop for me. I will die, and the city I build will collapse. My beloved people will only be compelled to continue wandering. This hopeless cycle torments every single Sarkas, including me. As a sovereign, I have the responsibility and power, and ought to change my people's fate at the source. As long as the Sarkas' need no longer lie prostrate before beasts like you, as long as my Casdel stands everlasting through days and nights. All the light around them rushes towards Quisar Tushtai's palm as he speaks.
Margaret's arts, the arts of the other confessari, and even the little sunlight straining through the dense clouds. In his palm floats a small crown of thorns, as impenetrable as the darkest night. Nightingale floats up from the stone bed. Her eyes are still shut, her limbs lack strength, but her arms are involuntarily open. When the last light has been caged, the crown will fall on Quisar-Tushai's head.
Liz! Shining, follow my light. Save her!
A sharp spear of light tears a path through the witchcraft barrier. Shining arrives before Quisar-Tushai. Night descends like a cage and the only light comes from her blade. The soul glimmers on the tip of her sword.
Liz, I return the true memories I once took from you. No fields, no woods, no streams, and no flower wreaths. Only a girl huddled in a dark corner. The entire room serves as her cage, and she cannot tell day from night, because she is merely a manufactured empty shell. With no consciousness or knowledge of pain or fear, she reacts to no arts inflicted on her at all. Until, in my obsession with exploring the soul, I left some unnecessary vestiges in you when carving yours. You're awake. You're starting to have emotions and responding to them. The experiment will continue. I have to create some illusions, fill up that newborn soul with memories fabricated by art, to cover up the truest, scariest ones. I think you should feel a little better, at least. You will feel truly alive, as if you've experienced a bit of warmth. No, perhaps it was escapism. As long as I lost myself in those holy, trusting eyes, I didn't have to confront the cruelty of what I've done to her. I'm sorry. You should have remembered, Liz. You must remember all that we promised each other.
A blue foul beast emerges from the darkness. Gigantic grey and white eyes stare at Shining, and a tear slowly falls. The girl in the air floats down. Shining and Margaret hear Nightingale's voice simultaneously in the frozen time.
I remember, Shining. You took me out of the darkest of rooms and we escaped. You accompanied me everywhere in search of medical help. And then we met Nerl, and 2 became 3. We went many places and saved many people. You often sighed with knitted brows in the middle of the night, but once I opened my eyes, you shifted to the warmest tone I know and told me about the beautiful things I missed on our journey. Nerl tried to teach me how to dance a few times. She'd hold me at spin until I couldn't move anymore, and the 2 of you would help me, taking turns carrying me. When I'm at your side, it's as if I can really fly. The 2 of you have made me what I am now. I am a member of the Followers, and a healer. I'll protect you both too, and fight alongside as well, to sever the gravest sins, to save those shrouded in the eternal night. This is what the 3 of us promised each other.
Nightingale lands on the ground. Her staff and body emit an intense light. A giant cage appears and catches Quisar Tushtai's body within. The soul was completely under my control. Why is this cage?
I have a name. I am Liz, and I am your enemy. Quisar Tushtai, I am stopping you because I don't agree with a single word you've said.
You...
Shining, Nerl.
Shining grips her sword tight. Margaret tosses her sword staff and it hits right on target. The crown of thorns revolving in Quisar Tushtai's hand. The trio are in complete sync with their thoughts and actions. Grab the flickering sliver of the soul before day and night take control once more. A long path of blood is the only crack before her eyes.
I found it. The essence of your soul.
Quisar Shinag, you...
What this body will become, I am unconcerned. If blood does control my will, then Liz and Nerl will pass judgment on me in my stead as I am now. But I will not be your puppet. I will not conquer or rule in your name. Until death, I will be free.
Free? You speak of freedom. Shall we give it a go? Quisar Shinag, we are not easily parted. Try again to leave my side. Try and see how long you can run from me.
I will run no longer. Rather, I will grant you an eternal death.
Shining, retreat! The moonlight above the tree tumbles down the cliff, and the ground violently rumbles as if about to turn upside down. The altar crumbles, and thick golden originium liquid gushes out from the cracks. A figure appears without anyone noticing. He does not move fast, but manages to appear just in time to block Quisar Tushtai from the followers. We should leave. Your Highness. Huh. So it's you.
Who's there?
Followers, is it? In this era where valor is scarce, your radiance bedazzles. We shall meet again.
Khalid Shaw and Quisar Tushtai's figures blend into the remains of the altar. The other confessari follow suit. The crown of thorns, shot out of Quisar Tushtai's hand earlier, suddenly spins, and turns into a pitch-black shadow that flies up toward the sky.
The shard. In the eye of the storm, is that the Amnana mentioned over the comms? Dr. Kaltsit, the doctor, and the others, will they make it? Shining, you, anything feel off? I'm alright. This blood curse is indeed complicated. Wait, Liz... Liz? Liz? No! Your soul, why is it incomplete? Did you fracture your soul when you resisted Quisar Tushtai? Shining... Nerl... I'm here. I've always been here, Liz. Yes. I'm alright. You two have protected me for so long, so it's my turn. I want the three of us to be always together. Liz! Come, Shining, we'll treat her together. Shining? It's futile. Our arts can heal such a grievous wound on her soul in this environment. Liz is unique, both her body and soul. Her birth was coincidental. No, I would rather call it a miracle. Then we'll first leave this place, and then plan our next move. What about Kwisatz? Do we just let him go? His fate means nothing compared to Liz's safety. He means nothing now. Let us return. Yes, together. Leader. Kwisatz failed to cage the Black Crown. The altar's power has weakened. I can work through its influence now. The altar's upper layer is breaking apart. Amiya, focus your attacks on the blood of Tikaz. Right. Yes. You... The King of Sarkas has already sentenced me to death. But this is nothing new to me. You're clearly in pain. You revere Kwisatz, but he left you behind like nothing. He treats you just like how you treat those chimeras. Exactly the same. Don't waste your breath, King of Sarkas. My feelings are nothing special. The Confessari are of the leader's blood, though some are born more perfect than others, like Kwisatz. Still, others like myself are never in the running to be chosen at all. But I've never envied her. We only stand in the spot befitting us best. We were supposed to be inseparable. We are all limbs of the same one body. There is no other group able to perform unprecedented miracles like we Confessari can.
You sure are dedicated.
I am curious. Is there nothing you're strongly attached to? Doctor, would you not make the same choices I have? For your life's work, for those dear to you, and the ones who have fought by your side this whole time? Whether it be under some control or influence, it does not matter. To reach our origin and create a completely new future. That's all I want. I can't let you get close to the blood of Tikaz. Huh. Oh.
A black line pierces through Salus's body once again and strikes the altar's core at the same time. The blood of Tikaz stills.
I'm so close. Amiya, stop her! She's going to ignite! It's fine. It's fine. My body is just like a monster's.
She stretches out her broken hand towards the drop of blood. A curse known only to the Confessari inflicted upon the soul, upon all blood and flesh.
It will probably be a complete death this time. Before the leader, before Kwisatz, and before all my family. I'll take the first step into the future I yearn for.
Salus smiles and throws herself onto the still heart. The blood of Tikaz boils. A giant crimson vortex appears from the altar's core. In that moment, Amiya feels as if she's being watched. By Kwisatz, by the crown without names, by the howling myriad souls, and by the one she's most familiar with.
Theresa? Amnanam. Salus used her own blood to complete the Confessari's ceremony. Quick, get away from that altar!
Sorry. That was a section of the story, alright. Holy hell. That was probably the most... the most surprising section of this whole story so far. Nerl landing in like she's playing some kind of battle royale, and on top of it landing in a hero pose landing. They know how to tickle my funny bone. I was very amused by that. I will leave it to you guys to see it in the clip section, because how to put this? I do wonder how quickly other people who have already read through the story, how quickly they caught on what was happening there, because I think I have a record speed time on that thing or some shit. that was something. But yeah, damn. Neural landing in was probably the most surprising thing out of this entire chapter so far. Everything else, kind of predictable, kind of what I'm suspecting about when it comes to this story. And then this one. And then this one airdrops in. Good lord. Plus the whole bits with Shining being a badass and telling her dad slash bro slash grandpappy to frick off, and Nightingale doing pretty much the same thing. God, Nightingale telling the guy off is probably I'm gonna rate that even above Neural landing out of nowhere, because damn, that moment was great. I am your enemy. God, she declaring someone to be her enemy, like this character that I personally in my mind associate with just a big fluffy cozy comfy cloud of good feels. Just telling someone, no, you bad, I'm gonna smack you now. What the hell? Anyway, what a round of cutscenes. And yeah, this is where we're gonna... Oh, and before I forget, yes, she is dead. She is finally dead. She is gone. Ah, rejoice, Salos bit the dust. Sorry, I'm just happy. She bit the dust. I am sorry to all the Salos enjoyers and thirsters and all that shit, but she had nothing redeemable, at least to me, and she was just annoying as fuck. Every time she appeared in a scene, I was just like, oh god, can we get this over with? She's gone, she's dead. Yes! I got my shotgun moment! Sorry. But yeah, again, sorry to all the Salos enjoyers and Thicky enjoyers that want her to be playable or something. She's dead. Bye. She did it herself. I'm happy with that. I have nothing else to say. She's gone. She was literally a one-trick pony the entire way through. Don't care. I did not at a single moment through the whole story see anything that would amount to her changing her personality or see more things clearly. And I'm happy with this. She's gone. Good riddance. Anyway, we shall proceed now into the clip section. So, you guys enjoy. There will be no hidden front in this episode. This episode is already long enough. Plus, as I'm finishing the recordings on this, I'm still waiting on something else, which I made a post on the community section of YouTube that is taking its sweet time to be HD rendered on YouTube. That thing will never be done, apparently. But anyway, this video is already long enough. I need to get around to edit this, post this, and all that stuff. So you guys enjoy. And if you did enjoy, please consider leaving a like on it. It would help me out a lot. Subscribe for more. And if you want to support me and my work more directly, there are memberships on the channel. And as always, like I say, there will be no video behind a membership. It's purely there for support. Thank you very much to all the members that are already there and doing their parts to be one of we many. That always... I don't know, I laugh about my own stupid jokes. I don't know why. I know why I named it that way, because it's the most appropriate thing, but anyway. Thank you very much, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next part. And until then, bye-bye.
The fury of the Sarkas burns within my veins and my viscera.
Oh my god, what a picture! Oh! Fuck! Oh! My boy! Jesus! Fucking elegy overboost.
He remembers himself many years ago.
Flashback?
Woo! Wow.
Holy shit.
This looks so pretty. Wow.
But our blessing will be with you wherever you go. Oh! Oh. Oh. I mean, I heard the voice lines from this thing. Well, I heard the voice line you get from it when you get it. I think that's the one where what was the name again? Phobos? It says that it was sent by the Banshees. Huh.
If it were you, you would certainly make it.
Huh?
Oh, fuck me, yes.
Oh, let's go. Oh, let's go. And here's the third member of the followers. Let's go. An opening pierces through the crimson clouds. The sunlight pours down. Everything around her becomes increasingly brighter. It doesn't matter what it is, just hold it back! The ceremony has already begun. We can't stop it! Get fucked. Oh, fuck! Oh, she's in her old gear? Light. Light and fog fills the air. The sun... Debating to make this a thumbnail. We'll see. Might be too much giving away, but we'll see. The sun descends from the sky to repel the clammy moonlight. Oh, fuck. Oh, she's wielding a combo. She's conjuring up the spear. Spear of light. The stars as well. But she's wielding her old shield as well on top. Ooh, I like that. Sorry, the storm was too intense, so it took some time to locate you. Are you alright? Do you need a hand, Shining? I'm fine. But we have to save Liz. And stop Quisartushtai. Lend me your strength. And dispel the darkness before my eyes. Of course. Let's go together. The road ahead of us. I'll illuminate our path. Oh, yes! That's an entrance.